of all the divisional round losses, they piled up 7 of them now. This one is the most disappointing. This was the best chance this team is going to probably have, maybe for a while, if this is how the play is going to look on offense, to make a deep run in the playoffs. Up to and including the team hosting next week, having their backup quarterback in an AFC title game. Things unfolded about as well as they could for the Texans this year after a 3-5 start, both from the league, and an opportunity absolutely squandered today. Absolutely squandered. This defense should be on its way to Denver next week. But this offense and this quarterback failed this team today. And there's a lot to dig into, not just for the next 2.5 hours, but for the next several months, because this team's got a lot of soul searching to do on the offensive side of the ball, and there are a ton of questions that need to be answered. And we want to dig into it with you tonight. The season is over. A lot of good in this season, but it ends with a massive thud in New England today. 28-16, the final score. It was bad in the beginning. It was bad in the middle. It was bad at the end. And we'll talk about it with you tonight. 713-572-4610. I'm Sean Pendergast. He is Clint Stoerner. Good evening, my friend.
How we doing?
I'm doing terribly, as you can probably tell.
Sounds like it. I'm with you, man. Look, this loss was not just a frustrating loss, an aggravating loss, a disappointing loss. You know, you get in the playoffs and, boy, you lose a hard-fought game down the stretch and you know, maybe even you make some mistakes because you have to get aggressive. You know, those kind of things are frustrating and aggravating. I mean, this was one of those demoralizing losses. This was one of those losses where, as an organization, you realize and you got a question like, man, are we as close to a Super Bowl caliber team as we thought we were? You got to look at it this way, guys. Is since D'Amico's gotten here, the defense has exceeded expectations in how good they are, to the point of, in year 3, they were the best defense in football. Some people are talking about a generational defense and mention them in the same as the greatest defenses that have ever played in the NFL, which I think is fair. But what you really got to look at is, you know, we've seen a first-year play caller in Bobby Slowick come in here, and last year, in his second year with this, we got all these weapons, and we got this aggressive approach to offense, and we're going to stretch the field. You watch pressure be a problem, and that was the excuse. Let's go change Bobby Slowick. Then you bring in a system that's uber conservative. We're just not going to turn the ball over. We're going to run it and guard it with our lives and play great defense. And you go out there, and once again, it was pressure last year, and the offense was just completely inept in the second round. And now it's you're trying to minimize risk, and you're trying to play a conservative brand of ball. You're trying not to lose the game, and your offense still finds a way to lose the game. And that's the tough part here. Is not just about this season in a vacuum, Sean, but, you know, at some point, you know, it's less about the play caller and more about the guys that are doing it. And today was not a good day once again for C.J. Stroud in that department. No. So there's a lot of hard conversations need to be had. A lot of decisions are going to have to be made by D'Amico Ryans. It's one thing to lose if you're a coach and go, hey, man, all right, man, we're there. We're getting better. Let's go back to the drawing board. It's another thing to lose in this fashion, because now you're questioning what I would say is the 2 most important positions other than yourself if you're D'Amico Ryans, the quarterback and the offensive play caller.
Well, the talk all year has been, let's get to new heights. Let's get to the AFC title game, and then let's see where the chips fall after that. And the fact of the matter is, you have a – is this going to be your guy moving forward? And he did a lot of things these last 2 games to make the decision very easy about yes or no on a contract this offseason for sure, especially today, because he lost you the game today. But if this is going to be your guy, the fact of the matter is he's been on the road in 4 playoff games, and he's been terrible in all 4 of those playoff games. He's not been good. Now, the Kansas City game last year, the offensive line just cratered in front of him. But today was inexcusable. Today, those 4 interceptions in the first half, this is a game you lost by 12, and 7 of those points came on a pick 6, and 2 of the turnovers were in or around field goal range. That's 13 points in a game you lost by 12.
Yeah.
And the timing of everything and how it sends you into the locker room and the nature of the throws. I mean, the pick 6, Clint, when they got the ball up 10-7, their own 25-yard line, I said, this is, you know, despite the interception that CJ had thrown earlier in the game, you threw a turnover early in the game. You made even your first drive when you came out after stopping the Patriots 3 and out, you drop a ball. Christian Kirk drops a ball on third down. There were a ton of mistakes made early in this game, including on the touchdown drive that put the Patriots up 7-0 to begin with. You find a way to get up 10-7 in this game and get the ball at your own 25. The crowd is out of the game. You seem to have figured some things out offensively. Your defense, you don't have to worry about it. They figured things out in training camp. Just don't go lose the game. And he throws one of the worst pick sixes I've ever seen. Tight end falls down. Granted, and that's when they were up 14-10 after that pick six, I'm like, this is the bad version of CJ, and I don't think he's going away. And he showed up 2 more times in that half.
Well, Sean, I mean, I listened to folks last week talk about, well, I just don't believe CJ Stroud's going to do again this week what he did against Pittsburgh.
I was one of them.
Right. No, there's a lot of people, but I mean, but so many people. And I'm not speaking for you, but so many people were focused on, the interception or the fumbles, whatever. Like, again, this week, it was bad if you just look at the box score and you say, hey, man, those turnovers can't happen. But, again, to me, when you talk about the future of the Texans, right?
Yep.
When you talk about the future of the Texans, right now you've got to question whether your guy can communicate effectively. You got to question whether your guy can handle the adversity of throwing a couple of picks or 2 or 3 picks and come back and not just completely go into a shell. You got to wonder if your guy is a guy that you can pay and should pay $50 to $60 million. That's these playoffs in a nutshell are about C.J. Stroud and the panic, the how easily they were overwhelmed, and all that comes with it. I mean, at halftime of the game today, after what we've seen from C.J. Stroud at halftime of the game, Marcus Spears felt like DeMeco Ryans need to go take him in the locker room and have a conversation. Which, by the way, I agree wholeheartedly with.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we're at, Sean. The panic, the rattled. Like, you can't if you're gonna be a franchise quarterback, if you're gonna be a quarterback that lives in the playoffs and a quarterback that wins the big game, every playoff run for every team that ends up in the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl, there are moments in a game that are outside. It's cold, it's loud, everything's against you, and those are your biggest moments. And right now, I think you got to question whether C.J. Stroud is that guy or not.
Dude, this is a game where your defense forced 3 turnovers, held the opposition, who, by the way, are quarterback guy who might win the MVP, held him to 3 for 14 on third down, held him to 248 yards, 3.9 yards per play. And if you had told me that before the game, I would have said, yeah, the Texans will win that game. I mean, those are horrible, horrible numbers by the New England Patriots. And you lost by 12. And the only way you lose that game is if your quarterback hands the game to them, and he handed the game to them today.
Yeah.